I had observations about King Kook, something that Ruth Ben Gia discusses with regard to people like King Kook, which is that anybody who admires them is subject immediately to horrible scorn. It's a perverse aspect of their own inner nature. It's like a projection that they need to heal their own self contempt. Well, an adjunct characterization of the way they think is the way that they present ordinary academic dialogue and evaluation of issues as somehow discursive offense that needs to be shut down. I mean, the Flip has this remarkable um, affinity with the people in Ben Giat's book. I mean, he rubber stamps, it goes no further, it goes no further, as he tears the carpet at the thought of somebody questioning him. And I have this deranged idea that um, to differ from their dogma is a criminal offense. It's like the Italian idea of respect versus the idea of like women rebelling at the serving of tea. Superiors in Japanese corporations, if they're women, are expected to serve tea to their male subordinates. They call it the women's movement rather than the feminist movement because women are expected to be differential. In a book called The Japanese Woman's Movement, there's an essay called Rebelling at the Serving of Tea. I mean, you should respect women. But the mafioso slap respect stuff is a little different. And Biden, Sherman, Alexei, Kim, these guys, they're doing this respect stuff. I mean, if they have something to say, it's important to respect them and hear them out. I'm not looking to promote bias against any of these people or their constituencies in terms of intelligible negotiation stances. But when the intelligible negotiation stance is absurd, you're supposed to be scared of them because they can kill you. And that at root is the essence of the people described by Ben Giat in their book. People like King Kook. If you differ from their dogma, then you're dead. Well, the dogma suggests that, you should be all you can be. Like, King Kook pulls out his sister, who's Guinevere Crimson. He's not King Crimson, but his wife is Queen Crimson, and his sister is Guinevere Crimson, or Billie Jean Crimson, whatever, Marilyn Crimson. Some sort of holy, form from the the cognoscenti neuromata, woo, who informed trusted root for Yoko Ono on queerball's jealousy fat Arab tendencies. So they claim, be all you can be as a mandate. You're a symbol of America. Oh, be all you can be. You be a zombie like Wagner. Be all you can be. Adopt the tautology of Marines. You must be joking. He should have been a child soldier fighting for possession of children for the Japanese Neva Corporation of John Lennon and Ringo Starr. And he has betrayed the British and the Israelis of the Suez Revenge. Be all you can be. Well, The point is that they depicted me, they constructed a persona. And my attempts to protect my parents from the horrors that the Manson ordeal that they went to, they said with a laugh of me constructing a persona. So it's more like negotiating a persona. And this persona of adaptivity to overwhelmingly slaughtering seemingly random street violence, which was all controlled. The governor was involved, the attorney general was involved, the corporations were involved, George Lucas was involved, Donald Trump was involved, Milton Schaap, Ralph Tice, Sony, the British Empire was involved, but they made it look like random violence and negotiating survival, hiding in a closet, forcing my mother to move. They came to my mother and said, "Give us your rock bottom bid." She sold this house for $23,500 because I had to move to get away from people who were kidnapping me, putting me through Manson ordeal. They laughed. He's constructing, negotiating a persona. Well, the way I turned out going to a high school for the first time, defending my mother from even more despicable armed perverts in this Jewish environment who were named Weinerbergers. Was in trying to go to school, going deaf, not getting advice and counseling, not being taught sign language, being played by Hollywood string pullers in a frame by frame setup. And I still wonder what happened to that kid Sean from my algebra class in 11th grade because he was going through something with the same dirty deal Peter Gabriel and the psychiatrist from Attica State Prison. It looked like, I mean, it looked very similar to what was happening. You're trying to forge an identity to protect yourself from the memory of an onslaught that made no sense, led to alexithymia. The person who taught me the word, the obscure, rare word, alexithymia, the inability, the tongue cannot handle the horror. So you negotiate a persona. The tongue cannot handle the horror. Alexithymia was the person who was ripping off the museums and giving, sly skullduggery to Peter Fripp, who was selling this stuff to everybody and saying, yeah, well, this is a licky chops over a postcard. Who's going to get the licky chops? The point is, it's not a question of being all you can be. It's that the pigeonhole, that's the word they used. The pigeonhole that I ended up in was not criminal. It was not criminal to stand up to Mr. Rogers' staff for burning Noel and Page's arms gangrenous. That was not criminal behavior, no matter what Peter Gabriel and the cornucopia of corruption in the Attorney General's office in Olympia have to say about it. That was not a criminal offense. Now, Biden starts pulling out his bigwigs. He's got Sherman old Lexi with some voodoo dolls and Twisted Louie. And he's even indoning Kim. He's got all kinds of voodoo dolls of queer wall to sell. We got to get that licky chop for the NAACP. Give us that licky chop. So they're going to renegotiate the persona. They had me in this place called Fogg Medical Library working retrospective conversion. In other words, he negotiated a persona for his escape from severe violent crime because the police wouldn't take it on, the principal of the high school wouldn't take it on, and his mother's life would have been in danger by Jews with scissors. Playing nunny, nunny, nunny like a clever bunny for Ian Wattenmaker. So he negotiated this. So we're going to retrospective convert it. We're going to dial for dollars. We're going to dial for dollars with Vi Williams and John Schulman. We're going to dial for dollars. What was that guy's name? You dialing for dollars. Remember, we're going to retrospective conversion with Westmoreland County. Yaha. Oh, Pittsburgh, caution.